Alright, moving right along. Oh, if my computer's going to let me. Oh, okay, there we go. Let's go back to Boston for a quick second. Now, we talked about the Boston Tea Party and what happened with that. Well, as soon as the British found out about that, they were, just to say, a little bit upset by it. They put in place something called the Intolerable Acts, which was actually a series of four different acts that were put together to punish Boston for their behavior with the Boston Tea Party. Among many British officials, they felt that it was Boston or the New England colonies that was causing all the trouble. That the resentment and the problems were coming mainly from Boston. And King George thought that if he was forceful enough with Boston, he would be able to make them obey them or make them respect his authority. So four parts to the Intolerable Acts here, and make sure you write these four down because you can definitely expect that these are going to be coming up on tests. This is basic information, folks, that you're going to need to know. So make sure you're writing these down. And remember, you can always look back in your book. This is all on page 72 of your book, too, if you need to refer to it later on. First thing it did, close down Boston Harbor. Now, this is huge because Boston is one of the biggest ports in all of the colonies. Basically, everyone in Boston depends on shipping and trade from that port in order to make their living. So if you close Boston Harbor, this is really going to hurt the economy of that area. And it's not closed indefinitely. They're going to keep it closed until the city of Boston can repay the cost of the tea that was lost. Um, Now, this is kind of a double-edged sword here. You're going to make them repay it, but you're taking away the main source of income for many of the people in Boston. So it's going to be a long time before Boston's going to be able to pay back that kind of money. The second thing it did is it disbanded any town hall meetings and assemblies throughout all of the Massachusetts Bay Colony. So the colonial assemblies could no longer meet. You couldn't meet in a town hall meeting at all. You couldn't elect representatives to go and make rules or decisions or anything like that. Basically, the British were taking direct control over the colony. One of the ways they helped to maintain that control is that they would send more troops into Boston, which is number four there. I know I'm skipping ahead real quick here, but they were going to send thousands more troops into Boston to help keep it under control. And they put in another rule that if anything were to happen, that if a British officer or troop or soldier was going to be accused of a crime, they were going to have to be tried back in England. Now, think for a second. Why would they want them to be tried back in England? It's because they could get a more favorable trial back in England than they might get in the colonies. This is the time period when they start having court cases where you're judged by a jury, and the jury in the colonies are going to look very unfavorable towards British troops who are occupying their city than, let's say, a group of people back in England who have no real involvement in Boston. So this is really going to protect British soldiers no matter what they do. So if a British soldier is a little bit forceful with some of the colonists there, and they accuse him of being too rough or of murder or harassment or something like that, that soldiers can get sent back all the way back to England to be tried, and most likely is going to be let off with just a warning or maybe no punishment whatsoever. So the colonists looked on that very unfavorably. Now King George was warned that this might push the colonists into rebellion. This is kind of a last straw for a lot of people in Boston, but he dismissed this. He believed that he knew it was right. Again, his arrogance showing up, and that he would force the colonists to submit to his authority, and this is how he was going to do it. I think you guys can all pretty much guess how this one's going to be turning out here pretty soon. Um, let's go ahead and take a look at the next couple slides here. Real quick while I'm thinking here, let me just I want to show you something here that I think you guys might enjoy. The First Continental Congress that we were talking about just a moment ago met in Philadelphia at a place called uh, the I can't think of the name right now, but let me take it. I want to show you guys a picture of it. So hold on for a quick second here while I bring it up.